Good day, and thank you for tuning in 3D, the Daily Divine Direction broadcast. For all of our new listeners and viewers who are tuning in for the very first time, I'm Pastor Pope, and thank you for allowing us to come into your listening and viewing environment. We are here with you every Monday through Friday from either 12 p.m. until 1 p.m. or 12:30 p.m. until 1 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, broadcasting live from the FijiWater.com sponsored studio as scheduling permits to address whatever topics you might like to discuss, whatever issues of life you find challenging or that you find difficult to navigate. We are here because God is concerned about that which concerns you. And that is the reason that we are here with you in 3D, the Daily Divine Direction broadcast, which is brought to you daily by Fiji Water, Earth's finest water. You may already know that Fiji water comes from Fiji. However, did you know that it is created by nature? It is untouched by man. It starts as a tropical rainfall which slowly filters through layers of volcanic rock, where the water collects in a natural, sustainable artesian aquifer, where it is bottled right at the source, free from human contact until you unscrew the blue cap. Fiji Water, Earth's finest water, will be delivered right to your front door when you subscribe for delivery, and you will save money at FijiWater.com. And for those of you who continue giving on the give segment of our app at New Life-Delaware, and those of you that have made a weekly or monthly commitment to support the broadcast by giving on the contribution pages of our websites at NewLifeMinistriesInternational.com and NewLifeInternationalCDC.com, and those of you who use the QR code or the link provided on Facebook and YouTube, we thank all of you for your continued commitment and for your support as we fulfill our commitment to God to be here for you in 3D, the Daily Divine Direction broadcast. So I want to say to all of our listeners and viewers, we now have Zelle available also for your giving. You can send it directly to the T-Mobile caller text line at 267-992-1424. And we want to continue to be here for you in 3D, the Daily Divine Direction broadcast. So let me just say this to all of our listeners and viewers. You know that we are in the midst of our Fiji Water, monthly FijiWater.com sponsored promo. All you have to do is go to our internet radio station, WKAPFaith.com. And the first three songs you hear at 11 a.m. or at 6 p.m. list those songs along with your name and your email address. Text them to the T-Mobile caller text line at 267-992-1424. One of our listeners and viewers will be selected each month to receive a case of Earth's finest water from FijiWater.com. Now, due to scheduling, you know our broadcasts have been limited certain days of the week. So we are just now announcing our August winner for the FijiWater.com sponsor promo. Mirella Kusevich of New York is our August winner of the FijiWater.com sponsor promo. So you will be receiving a case of Earth's finest water shipped right to your front door from FijiWater.com. So look forward to, I hope I didn't do too bad on your name, Morella, but you will be receiving a case of Earth's finest water, Fiji Water. And thank you for tuning in New York City. For all of you who, wherever you are across the U.S. and wherever you are around the globe, we thank all of you. We have new listeners in Poland now. We have new listeners in Indonesia. We have new listeners all over the world, and we see the analysis as they come in. So thank you all for tuning in and for being with us as we are here with you in 3D, the Daily Divine Direction broadcast. So I'm going to address a communication that came in from one of our listeners and viewers. You indicated that you have a family member who requested a loan. You said, however, you know if you give them a loan, you will never see that money again. Let me first of all say this to you and all of our listeners and viewers, there's a reason that the old adage is do not loan money to family or friends. And the reason is because family will know that you're always going to be family, even if they borrow money from you. They know if they don't pay it back, you're still going to be family. The relationship may change, but they're willing to risk that. Friends come and go. They're not always really long-term friends. They're just friends for a season, perhaps a reason, but not a lifetime. So you have to know that if you're going to loan someone money, there's two things that may occur. They may pay it back, or they may never pay it back. And you have to know that you can afford to not see it again in order for you to loan a family member money. But you have to go a little deeper than that. Before you just write a check, before you just give them money, you've got to go a little deeper than that. So you've got to know what's going on with them. And you've got to take the time to ask these questions. Many times when you ask these questions, you will find that they will no longer want it from you because they don't want to have to explain themselves. They want the path of least resistance. And you're the path to that least resistance, because if they were to go and borrow it from a bank, they're going to have to fill out an application. If they were going to borrow it from someone else other than a family member, they're going to have an explanation. However, you need an explanation also. And what I mean by that is what's going on with them, so that you know how to direct your prayers. What got them here? What got them to the place where they need you to assist them? And then what is the plan for moving forward? Because one of the things you don't want to do, and none of us should do, is ever get in the way of what God is doing in the life of someone else. And often when people borrow money from you, we are giving them what they desire because we want to feel good about helping them. But we're not helping them if they're using you as their source and not going to God to be their source. So the one thing that we don't want to do is to get in the way of what God is doing in someone else's life. You've got to know how they got here, what's going on with them. Is it a health crisis? Because really that's when you can loan money to family and friends. If they're in a health crisis and they're in need of something, then you may want to be able to address that. You go to God first and you pray for them, and God will reveal to you what he wants you to do. He may not reveal it to you on the day that they want it, but he will reveal to you, it will come over your spirit. This is something that, particularly if it's a health crisis. If it's a health crisis and you can help out, to God be the glory. He puts you in the position to be able to do that. But if it's just, I didn't manage my money well, so here I am, that's not the real reason. There's an underlying current going on there. There's something that has allowed them to get to this place. And then you need to know what the plan is going forward. How do they plan not to be in this situation again? What is their written plan? Not just off the cuff, but what is their written plan for not getting here again? Do they have a budget? Are they managing their money properly? Are they spending just to be spending? Are they spending frivolously? You need to know all of those things. And by the time you get done answering those questions, by the time you get done asking those questions, you may find that all of a sudden it's not so important to them anymore. But if it is, by the time you get through asking those questions and they've given you an answer, you'll have a much clearer picture of what you're dealing with and how you want to deal with it. Because the truth be told, it's not your responsibility to interfere in what God is doing in someone else's life. It's not your responsibility. You can help and be okay with helping. But you need to know that that's an assignment from God and not an assignment from someone else. Not just someone saying to you, I need or I want something. Because often it is, people have learned, don't ask someone for what you want. Don't ask them for money for what you want. Ask them for money what you need. So you spend your money on what you want, not you, but people spend money on what they want, and then they come to you for what they need. They need to go to God for what they need, because He has it all. All the gold and the silver belongs to Him. You're just a steward over it. But you have to decide what you're willing to surrender to someone else. And what is your reason for surrendering it to them? And then if God reveals to you that this is something He's given you the opportunity to do, then you do it knowing that you may never see it again. Now, you'll deal with them a little differently the next time, but you know that there's a possibility you're never going to see that again. And you have to be okay with that. Because if you're going to loan someone money, that may be the possibility, it may exist that you will never see it again. But if you ask all of the questions that we just talked about today, you'll find you'll be in a much better place when you answer those questions. You'll feel more confident about why you're helping, as opposed to just doing it because someone wants you to do it because they haven't been responsible themselves. This segment of the broadcast is brought to you by T-Mobile, America's largest and fastest 5G provider at no extra charge. So if you are not currently a T-Mobile customer, you may call or text on the T-Mobile call or text line at 267-992-1424. We will move you into our queue, where you may have the opportunity to become a T-Mobile customer and experience America's largest and fastest 5G provider at no extra charge. Taxes and fees are included in your bill, and if you auto pay by attaching a credit card to your account, you will receive a discount on your monthly bill. At T-Mobile, America's largest and fastest 5G provider at no extra charge. I'm going to address another communication that came in from one of our listeners and viewers who indicated you had something amazing occur in your life and you would like to share the good news with others. You want to know, should you share the news or should you keep it to yourself? You know, look, you never want to let the left hand know what the right hand is doing. And what I mean by that is, you don't need to share the good news with people just because you want to share the good news with them. Good news should only be shared if it's going to inspire someone. And here's the interesting part to that word, someone. One, if you're going to inspire someone by sharing the good news with them that you have experienced, then to God be the glory. Aside from that, you need to keep it to yourself. You don't need to share what's going on in your life with everyone else, because let me help you to understand this today. Everybody's not going to celebrate your good news. Everybody's not going to celebrate your success. You're going to have some people who will today shout hallelujah, tomorrow they will yell crucify him. You've got to realize that everyone doesn't have your best interest at heart. You're going to encounter people who are going to want to spread your good news to others, knowing that sooner or later a hater's going to raise their head. sooner or later a hater is going to appear. And then you're going to have to deal with that. You don't need to deal with outside forces. You don't need to deal with outside interference. You need to keep everything close to your vest. When I say close to your vest, just keep everything close. You don't have to share it with everyone. You only share good news. Let me help you out with something. Unless you're sharing the good news of the gospel of Jesus Christ, you don't want to share good news with more than the people you keep in your tight-knitted circle. And I will tell you this, even if they're inside your circle, unless it's going to inspire them, you don't need to share it with them. If it will inspire someone else to do what you've done, to accomplish what you've accomplished, then by all means, share it with someone. And to God be the glory. Someone implies one person. You get to pick and choose who you think it might benefit. But you don't need to share it with just anyone. Because everyone, just like everyone can't always handle your testimony, everyone may not be able to handle your good news. Everyone may not be able to handle what's amazing for you. And consequently, people will try to interfere. You will have haters and detractors. You will have people who will try to impede your progress. You don't need any of that. Just for a moment of a feel-good moment of sharing with someone else how amazing your life is right now. If it's amazing right now, which it is, enjoy it. And what I mean by enjoy it, enjoy the peace of knowing that your life is amazing. That's the peace. The peace is your life is amazing. What's happened to you is amazing. It's truly amazing. But you don't need to share amazing with everybody. Everyone can't handle amazing. People can handle the things you may share with them in your daily life about how the family's doing, how your profession is doing, your career is progressing. They may be able to handle that. Everybody can't handle amazing. You share amazing with some people, it will make them lose their mind. They will feel the necessity to go and tell someone else. And the more people they tell, the more opportunity you have to be stressed out. And the reason is because you will start to have people showing up in your life, causing confusion that you don't need to endure. Why do you need to share it with anyone? Look, be discreet, remain confidential, do what you need to do to keep amazing alive and living in your life. Enhance the quality of your life. Continue to build what you've laid the foundation to accomplish. And allow God to continue working in your life. Doesn't get any better than that. Contrary to popular belief. You know, I often think about how society has damaged the mindset of man. Pop culture has taken over, and it has provoked us all to make some decisions in our lifetime that may not have been the best decisions, even if they resulted in something positive. I know you might say, well, that sounds like a conflict, but if it resulted in something positive, no, it resulted in something positive because God was merciful. There was new mercy every day because you didn't see what was behind the scenes that could have harmed you. But God could see it. And he decided to intercede on your behalf. What I want you to know today is that your life right now is amazing because God has chosen you to show his glory. You don't need to share that information with anyone. What you need to do is continue to share the goodness of the Lord with them. Share how good God has been to you. That's all. That he's been gracious and he's been merciful and he's been a loving God, and life has been blessed, and that you are truly blessed and you feel blessed, and the blessings of the Lord have overtaken your life. You can share that testimony. You can share the good news about what God has done. But you want to keep that amazing to yourself, because God is amazing. What he's done in your life is amazing. But if you share it, it's going to cause some other folks to lose their mind. Stay focused. Just stay in the presence of God, and everything will be just fine. It will be well with your soul. This segment of the broadcast is brought to you by Charles Tyrwhitt, located in London, the UK. They also have stores in New York, Chicago, Washington, D.C., and at the King of Prussia Mall in King of Prussia, Pennsylvania. So if you're in any of those areas, stop in at the retail stores. They have everything a man could possibly need: shirts for men, ties for men, suits for men, and accessories. I'm actually in Charles Tyrwhitt attire today. And if you're not in any of those areas, you can order from Charles Tyrwhitt at ctshirts.com. They will ship and deliver right to your front door in an appropriate period of time. And The White Company, located in London, the UK. They also have a store on Fifth Avenue in New York. So if you're in New York, stop in at their Fifth Avenue store. They have everything you could possibly need: home goods, clothing for men, women, and children. And if you're not in New York, you can order from The White Company at thewhitecompany.com. They too will ship and deliver right to your front door in an appropriate period of time. I'm going to address another communication that came in from one of our listeners and viewers who indicated that you are really struggling with your current workload and finding it difficult to manage, and you want to know, how do you get it under control? So let me just say this to you. First of all, God is a God of order. And that's what we always have to remember. God is a God of order and of peace. He wants us to have peace. So if you get order, you will gain control. This too shall pass. You know, sometimes we have ebbs and flows in our careers and in our personal lives, but we have ebbs and flows. And what happens often in our professional lives is that so much of what's being done, you are responsible for. And it can begin to pile up, and it can begin to, as we often use the analogy, you have so much on your plate that your plate begins to overflow. The good news is you have bounty. No, I'm just kidding. You can wipe up what overflows from your plate just by getting some order in your life. And for you, it's going to require that you get order in both your personal and your professional life. See, part of the reason that you feel that the workload is overwhelming is because you've got some things going on in your personal life that you're carrying over into your professional life. You have some things going on in your personal life that is impacting your professional life. So you're going to have to really focus on both. And the way that you do that, you've all heard me often talk about running your life like a solvent corporation. So think about it in these terms. Even in your personal life, if you handle administrative, development, management, marketing, and operations, because we're all marketing our lives. If you can manage every one of those sectors of business and every one of those sectors of your personal life, you will develop some order. And when you develop order, you gain control. You gain control over what needs to be done. It really comes down to scheduling. It really comes down to knowing your competencies, knowing what you might have to outsource, knowing what you can do to be most effective and efficient. So you've got to get order. If you can gain order, you can gain control. If you can create order just by making some changes in your schedule, your social life's going to have to take a back seat to your professional life. Just make certain that from your personal perspective that you outline the same categories that you have for business, because you will have administrative work to do in your personal life. You will have development to do in your personal life. You will have to manage your personal life. You will have to market your personal life. You will have to operate your personal life. All of those sectors, those segments of business exist in your personal life also. But you're going to have to compartmentalize everything that needs to be done, both personally and professionally. And then once you get that order established, you'll be able to schedule your entire day, your entire life. I'll give a personal example in the sense of I have been fully committed to every day trying to get 8 hours of sleep. It doesn't always happen, but I'm committed to doing it, which means if I miss a night of getting 8 hours of sleep, the next night I try to be back on it, because I don't want it to become a habit of, I'm missing my proper rest. So I recognize now, in addition to that, I'm about this health and wellness. I find that because I'm trying to go to bed earlier daily, which, for example, tonight, because I'm trying to go to bed earlier, I've got to find ways to drink the bulk of the water that I need to get in during the day. Because the later it gets in the day, chances are I may have to get up in the middle of the night and go to the bathroom, which is going to break my sleep. And then it'll determine whether or not I go back to sleep quickly or whether I'm awake for a while. But either way, if I can avoid that disruption, it means that I can get a full night's sleep and get at least my 8 hours. Because that's at least my goal. Because I realize that from a personal perspective, that's going to help me live a longer, extended life. It's going to allow me to be more effective and more efficient if I'm getting the proper amount of rest. So everything is about order, and this is something my wife and I were having a conversation about being intentional. It is work being intentional. But being intentional also means you're going to be more effective. So we try to be intentional about everything. Everything that we do, we try to be intentional about it. Okay, this is what I'm going to do because this will accomplish that. That's being intentional. you're going to have to be intentional about getting order. If you get order in your life, you will again get control over your workload. And you'll feel much more effective and much more efficient. Today's Daily Divine Direction broadcast 3D has been brought to you by Fiji Water. Taste of Paradise will be delivered right to your front door when you subscribe for delivery, and you will save money at FijiWater.com. This is not just ordinary water. This is Earth's finest water at FijiWater.com. May God bless you today. May God keep his face turned towards you. May God give you peace that surpasses all understanding. Have a great day today. I look forward to being in your viewing environment tomorrow. Have a great day. God bless you. Remember, we are in the midst of our FijiWater.com sponsor promo. Go to our internet radio station, WKAPFaith.com. The first 3 songs you hear at 11 a.m. or 6 p.m., text them along with your name and email address to the T-Mobile caller text line at 267-992-1424. Have a great day. God bless you.